Started. Good morning, everyone. So get together and sing I Am Home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom, in the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom, in the love of God, I am home.
Oh, no.
I'm so missing it.
Oh. Are we ready?
You were on.
I was on. I just had to let the mic catch up in time and space with me. Good morning. Yes, good morning and welcome to Unity. That's why I can't wear regular watches. They speed up and slow down. The only watches I can wear are the special ones that run on light. So I'm not surprised there are occasionally tweaks with computers and sound systems. But good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds and always a sense of humor, because the divine always has a sense of humor as well as a sense of deep peace. And if you can feel the energy in this room, the blessings are filling this space, because yesterday we did a wonderful celebration of Sky Dempster's life. And it was just amazing, and there was so much love in this room. And so we just welcome Sky to be part of our service from where she is in spirit this morning, as well as welcoming all of you. So let us begin with the lighting of our Christ light, that is next to these beautiful roses that were part of her service from the spiritual group that she was a part of for over 30 years. And then the beautiful rainbow flower arrangement that graced the altar yesterday as well. It is here today to continue to bless all of us. So with much love for one and all, especially tender love for Sky, come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. I invite you now to stand and just turn around and just, not a bunch of conversation or we'll be here until noon, but just an acknowledgement and a blessing of the light beings that are all around you, the kindred souls that have gathered together this morning in body or in spirit. And then we'll unite our voices now in singing I Walk Today in Perfect Holiness. That's one of Ron's songs.
I walk today in perfect holiness, trusting in the goodness I possess. I give what I receive, I give and then I see. I walk today in perfect holiness. Whoa. I hear the voice of truth, it's calling me. It says there's so much more than I can be. I give what I receive, I give and then I see. I walk today in perfect holiness. Whoa. I walk today in perfect holiness, trusting in the goodness I possess. I give what I receive, I give and then I see. I walk today in perfect holiness. I walk today in perfect holiness. I walk today in perfect holiness. I walk today in perfect holiness.
And so it is. Please be seated.
Oh, so good morning. So yesterday, before Sky's Memorial, I was with a gathering of this group we have called the Intenders Group, been together for 20 years. And one of the people talked about this story about this monk, and I want to share it with you. So this monk was walking along, had his students following, they all had their coffee, and they were just kind of chatting. And the monk said, well, what happens if somebody comes up to you and he takes one of the students and shakes your arm with your holding this coffee mug? Well, the coffee falls out. And he says, well, why would the coffee fall out? And the monk said, or the student said, well, because somebody bumped me. And then he asked another student, and another student, and another student. They all came up with the same iteration of that. And the monk said, well, If you didn't have coffee in your mug and had tea in your mug and somebody bumped you, what would happen? And he said, the tea would fall out. And he goes, precisely, just like life. We're going through life holding our coffee mug, ourself in this mug, and somebody comes along, life comes along, and bumps us. The speed bumps, I call them, or the potholes of life. You know, everything's going on good, and all of a sudden, and the coffee falls out. So the question is, what's in your cup? Is it anger, frustration, worry, envy, harsh words? What the? Or is it joy, gratification, peace, and humility? So the question is, what do we have in our cup? There's a word for something for thoughts. Today we're going to talk about trust and release. So, I don't know what Pam's going to say at all. We never talk to each other about what we're going to say, what I'm going to say. So, hey, well, it all works out, right? So, any 12-step program has trust and release within it. First of all, you've got to give up to a higher power. You've got to understand, I can't do this alone. I can't do this by myself. I don't have the strength and the power within me, I don't think, to do this. I'm at my bottom. So I got to give it up to a higher power. So I got to surrender my ego, usually, up to a higher power and let that higher power guide me and pull the strength and the wisdom and the things that I need out of me so I can overcome whatever this 12-step program's got me into. It's about this release and trust, and they work both ways. So it's like a coin. So the more I trust, the more I feel confident I can release. The more I release and let go and have results that are affirming, life-affirming, the more I can trust. So trust and release, release and trust, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When I first got into New Thought and this spiritual path, one of the things that really struck me is one of the classes or people that took, anyway, what really struck me is that the universe is designed to conspire for my good. And my good is designed to conspire for everybody else's good. It's all that reciprocation that goes back and forth and back and forth. And it's when I get myself out of my way, I can really feel that. And it's hard, I know, in the midst of speed bumps or potholes or cliffs that you might be falling off of, to feel it and to see it. And that's where the trust comes in. This too shall pass. All things work together for good for those who love God. So allow that love of God within you as individualized expressions of spirit to come forth, and all the good comes together. And that leads us right into the daily word. And whatever fell down. Beautiful. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. Find God, the divine, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call that entity. When I am fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at the shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean. I rejoice in the beauty of nature. It is truly a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives within me. The presence of God does not just surround me, it is within me also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. You are important, each one of us are part of that fabric of the world that makes it what it is. When I live in the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I'm a radiant spiritual being, an individualization of the divine. I honor the presence of God within me and with all others. We are beautiful. There's a saying in Native American traditions, walk in beauty. And so we take the good red road, walk in beauty. And from the psalmist, he says it this way: one thing I ask of the Lord that I will seek after is to live in the house of the Lord all my days of my life and to behold the beauty of the Lord. The world becomes beautiful when I find God within it. And so it is.
Oh, what a wonderful daily word. Oh, thank you, David. And thank you for a way to perhaps revision the sea of potholes between here and my house on Center Street. Oh, so let's settle in now, because it is all about revisioning what's going on. What's happening in the world is one thing. How we perceive it and respond to it is ours. So let us settle into this moment, singing Sanctuary and journeying within to a place of peace and beauty where we can commune with the presence of the divine and find that peace that passes all understanding. Sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
Settle now into this holy moment, becoming deeply present to the kindred souls around you and the love that weaves us together. Become deeply aware that you sit in a sanctuary co-created together with one another and with the presence of Spirit that was made manifest in miracles that it brought us into and allowed us to continue to co-create our shared spiritual home. Allow yourself to slow and deepen your breathing and know you truly are in a place of sanctuary, of safety and protection, of peace and compassion, of wisdom and grace. We settle into this place that is a beacon of light in our world. A portal of hope and blessings given and received. life deeply shared. Allow yourself now to journey into an inner sanctuary that is someplace out in nature that for you is beauty. For some, it may be a desert, for some, a mountain, for some, a seashore, for some, a meadow, for some, a garden. Oh, just allow Spirit to create all around you, above you, and below you, this place of sacred and holy beauty that is nature and Mother Earth. Feel it at every level of being. Settle into it for a moment of silence and stillness now. Realize that this place experiences all the shifts and changes that come with the seasons of the year, and yet remains present in ever-evolving forms. Allow your vista to expand, where you remain in your place of sanctuary and beauty, but feel how that extends beyond you, out into the world, where others are abiding around you in their sacred places. And we allow the deep peace that abides with each to weave us together. Each one in sacred space, and yet not alone. Feel Mother Earth beneath your feet and Father Sky above your head. And give thanks for the beauty of the natural world all around. And allow this prayer of awareness to open you to the presence of the divine in all. From praying with the earth, all things come from you, O God, and to you we return. All things emerge in your great river of life, and into you we vanish again. At the beginning of this day we wake, not as separate streams, but as countless currents in a single flow. The flow of the divine in this day's dawning. The flow of the divine in this day's delight. The flow of the divine in this day's sorrows. Your flow, O sweet Spirit, in all the twistings and turnings of this new day. Bring yourself exactly as you are, your life exactly as it is, and our world exactly as it is, into this moment. And allow this presence of the divine to infill every level of your being, body, mind, heart, and soul. with this deep sense of oneness with your higher self, with the beauty of the world, and with your connections to all of life. Now bring into this holy moment, into this field of oneness, all the prayers that are yours this day. And silently, but with the voice of your heart and soul, release the prayers that are yours this day into this great flow of the divine, knowing that as you pray, it is always for highest and best for all, in right and perfect time, and with gentle and graceful unfoldings. Let us release our prayers on the flow of the divine. We add to these prayers all of those entrusted to our High Watch prayer chaplains. And with all who pray this day for compassion and peace and unconditional love. Allow your heart to overflow with gratitude as you now hear the prayer for the life of the world from the same day's reading in Praying with the Earth. All things are born of you, O God. We carry within us your light and your life. In the mystery of matter and deep in the cells of our souls are your longings for oneness. The oneness of the universe, vast and vibrating with the sound of its beginning. The oneness of the earth, greening and teeming as a single body. The oneness of the human soul, a sacred countenance in finite form. Grant us your longings for oneness, O God, amid life's glorious multiplicities. And so send your blessings to the world. Let your heart remember it is a sacred countenance in infinite form. And rededicate yourself to the path of living, loving light, the path of the Christ, the path of deepest and highest soul work, the union of heaven and earth in the oneness with which they were created. May the presence of the divine move in and through and as us. May we rededicate ourselves to tenderly caring for one another and to tenderly care for our beloved Mother Earth and Father Sky. May we remember that we are sent to be stewards entrusted with this world with all of its beauty. May we each do all we can to not only honor the beauty of this earth, but to uplift, preserve, and carry it forward to gift it to those who will come after us. The beauty of the world, the presence of the divine in everything. And for this we are divinely and deeply grateful. And we link inner and outer worlds once again in oneness as we allow our voices to sing Sanctuary, bringing us back to this beautiful place and to these beautiful kindred souls. sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
So it is, amen, and blessed be. I behold the divine in each and every one of you and in all of life. And now the gift of special music, I hear a call.
I hear a call, now will I answer, forsake my own to serve another. Though darkness falls, stay a believer. I hear a call, now will I answer. I see a light, now will I follow. Fill up this life that grows more hollow. Make joy reside where there lives sorrow. I see a light, now will I follow. I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from everywhere I go. I hear a call, now will I answer. I feel a touch, now will I hold on, be there with love for those who know one, with a kindness such, it lives though I'm gone. I feel a touch, now will I hold on. I hear a call from out of nowhere, and from everywhere I go. I see a light, now will I follow. I feel a touch, now will I hold on. I hear a call, now will I answer.
know that I hear a call, how will I answer? Oh, that's part of what we've been talking about the last couple of Sundays. The first was calming the storm, the disciples in the boat, and there's a great storm, and Jesus in the back, sound asleep and at peace. And they wake him up and they're in terror, and they said, the boat's gonna sink. What are you doing? And he looked at the storm and said, peace, be still. That inner Christ, that spark of the divine that's in us, that's ever present with us, whatever is going on, all we have to do is remember to awaken, not the Christ consciousness, but our awareness of it. It's always there. But it's up to us to awaken it and say, be with me, so I can find peace in whatever's going on. And then the next step we found in the Gospel of Matthew, and that's where Jesus is out in the water and he's walked on water, which is another miracle. They're terrified when he comes across the water and they ask him if he's a ghost. But he says, no, it's me. And so he's walked across the water to meet them right where they are, against all odds and all appearances. Came to meet them right where they were in the boat, and again there's a storm. And things calm down, and then he tells Peter, come, walk, come. Peter says, I don't believe it's you. And he said, walk to me. And so Peter starts to walk across water. The call, come meet me on the water. And the response, Peter does it. And initially, he walks on the water too. And then he realizes, wait a minute, this is going against everything my brain knows, and he starts to sink in the water. And Jesus just takes his hands and helps him get back to the boat. Sometimes our faith helps us get out of the boat and walk across the water in ways we never dreamed we could. And then our doubts come in and we start to sink. But the Christ does not leave us then. Takes our hands and says, it's okay, get back in the boat now. I remember when I was in ministerial school, we were talking about, do we believe that the story of Lazarus, rising someone from the dead, that could actually happen? And we all agreed, yes, we really do believe that. And we thought, but if that happened for us, we would be there and we would go, holding the energy, the prayer of arise. And then we open our eyes and go, you arose. You're here. And then we go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Whoosh. Because faith is a process, it's a learning. And call and response is your soul calling you into something higher. It's like Jesus calling Peter out of the boat. And there are different points of our lives where we get callings. I was a special ed teacher, and I felt a calling to go to nursing school. Well, my parents, particularly my dad, said, no, your audiology professor wants you to get a master's and maybe a PhD and be his TA. What do you mean? You can't go back and study something completely different. You get a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. I had this deep call that I'd had all my life since I was a kid. And I said, I want to be a nurse. And they said, okay, you go spend the summer as a nurse's aide doing the most difficult, dirty work we know you can't stand, bodily fluids and needles. So do it for the summer and then we'll talk. So I stepped in the water and worked as a nurse's aide. And at the end of the summer, I said, I want to do it. And they were like, oh my God, we thought they were going to redirect her. I went back to school and went to nursing school. I was a nurse for years. And then one of my best friends was diagnosed with severe brain cancer and literally given weeks to live. She ended up making it a year, but she was given weeks to live at that point. And I went into prayer, and I had been volunteering as a hospital chaplain at Parkland. I was one of 8 people in Dallas that ecumenical group chose to be trained as hospital chaplains. And I thought, oh, I'd really like to be a chaplain. And I discovered Unity. I want to be a Unity teacher. And my parents were like, okay, we've been here before. Here she goes again. And as I did that, it became so clear that that was what I was supposed to do. And the path opened up, and the year before I went to ministerial school at Unity, I spent that year training, doing my internship as a hospital chaplain. Career number 3. And then I went to Unity, and I remember sitting with my dad at breakfast one morning, and I said, Dad, I'm going to go back to school again. Said, I bet it's not a PhD in nursing. And I said, nope, I'm going to go study to be a licensed teacher at Unity. I got laid off from my corporate nursing case management job right when it was time to go to Unity Village. So, call and response, I went to Unity Village. And while I was there, it was the time of year where you could apply for ministerial school. And I was like, no. And Spirit, when I went for a walk in the woods, said, be content being a licensed teacher. And I said, okay. So I didn't apply. The next year, I found myself again walking in the woods, and Spirit saying, you need to apply to ministerial school. The instructors had told me that. My fellow students had told me that. And I was like, the call is really loud, but no thank you very much. I said, I'm not good enough and holy enough to be a minister. And this sweet presence said, who is? You read the stories of the disciples in the early church, they all had issues. And it was like, you are called to serve as you are. And realize that that special ed and that nursing that seem to be separate, and then the hospital chaplaincy, they're all part of a greater calling that will make sense to you as it unfolds. And it certainly has. So on this walk in the woods, I said, I'm not holy enough. And then the other thing I said, I came from Texas, where the fundamentalist churches are very big. And I said, I enjoy life too much to be a minister. Serious enough. And what the presence said, that means you're perfect for this. The world doesn't need more judgment. It needs more love and joy. There went all my excuses. So needless to say, obviously I said yes to the call, and here I am all these years later. And it's interesting because think back on your life where you've had something come up kind of unexpected that shook you out of whatever it is that your life has been and invited you to something different. It could be a person you've met. It could be a relationship that gets closer and closer. It could be a switch in career. It could be a move from one physical locale to another. It could be a book being gifted to you or falling off the shelf into your hands that opens a whole new world to you. It could be a piece of music that touches you so deeply and reminds you who you are and what you can do in the next moment to make the world a better place. Your life too has been full of call and responses. And it's just becoming more aware of the importance of trusting those responses as you move through life. And the stories of calming the storm and walking on water remind us of the importance to be centered in peace before you take the next step, so that you can do it with a deeper sense of presence and peace, whatever that next step is. Because the sacred abides not in realms invisible far away from us alone. It abides in full embodiment in our presence in the world. All of the world's spiritual traditions encourage people to move within in prayer, perhaps to meditate, and to connect with that divine presence to find a sense of balance. Simply closing your eyes in prayer is closing your eyes to outer appearances and moving into a different realm. And at the end, you open your eyes, and the world is always different by whatever took place in that sacred space at the core of your being. Alice Howell, in Finding the Sacred in the Commonplace, says, what we are looking for on earth and in our lives is a process that can unlock for us the meaningfulness of our daily lives, the meaning of call and response. It has been the best kept secret down through the ages because it is so simple. Truly, the last place it would ever occur for us to find the sacred would be in the commonplace of our everyday lives and all about us in nature and in the simple things. It's being deeply present in the moment with yourself and the world exactly as it is. I've been struggling recently at maintaining a center with everything that's going on in the world. All of the things that I've dedicated my life to feel like they're under assault right now, to me. As a teacher, the multi-handicapped, as a nurse, as a child that took the little UNICEF boxes around at Halloween and got the change collected to help the other children around the world. The chaplain who believed in the power of interfaith movements to help us see and embrace each other. And I realized that my emotions are kind of doing this, and thank God I have the gifts that Unity has given me, which is to be able to recalibrate and recenter. There are times I have to do it right in the midst of something. There are times I forget to do it and my angst gets bigger. But I truly believe that we are all working together in some great mysterious alchemical process to bring us into a higher level of consciousness and love. I just didn't think it was going to look like this. And so it's recognizing that it's standing in my truth, but like in that walk in the woods, are you going to go down the path of judgment or down the path of trying your best to see the beauty and the goodness in the world and in other people? And that means everyone. This is the path you've chosen. Really? Yes. Yes, this is the path you've chosen. And I was meditating on it this week, and I realized that part of what's going on, I think for everyone, because I'm counseling all kinds of people these days around various crises and issues. Things are up for all of us, whichever side of things you're on. And I realized that we are all in a deep and ongoing process of unfolding that brings up deep grief for all of us. Deep grief over what we thought our country was, whichever side. It's all been challenged. The things that we thought were our foundational bedrock are being shaken right now. And so I realized we are all going through this huge shift that has shaken the foundation of what we know, and we've lost some sense of deep security that we had. And with that loss, we enter a grief process that has all kinds of emotions. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you been going through shock and disbelief? Check. Denial? Check. Pain and guilt with fear, anxiety, and regret? Check. Bargaining and anger with frustration and helplessness? Check. Depression? Check. Testing? Check. An upward turn? I'm working on that one. And acceptance? Working on that one. When you realize what process you're in, you can gift yourself the gift of grace and others the gift of grace. I learned years ago in Al-Anon and truly believe with all of my heart that everyone is doing the best they can with what they know. Most people, it's very rare for people not to be really trying to do the best they can with what they know. And that we are all going through this incredible process of shift and change. And right now we are more polarized than ever before. But what lies at the center of that storm is the boat where Christ consciousness abides, and an ability to hear the call, can you be the light in the world where it feels dark for you, whichever side you're on? Can you be that sense of peace wherever you are? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone into a new way of holding the light, but with kindness and compassion? That was always the message of Jesus. Love God, yourself, others. Love with all of your strength of your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. And love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say the neighbors that agree with you. And he even said, love your enemy. And he said, embrace your adversary quickly, because the more you polarize, the more things stay the way they are, and they polarize even further. I'm still working at how do I do that? How do I live that? And I found myself coming up with the 4 A's, and I used this a number of years ago. And it just popped up when I was researching today's talk, and I was like, this is what we need. As you're going through all of these emotions that you're feeling right now, you can go online and read. They have all kinds of lists. When you're in the midst of pain and guilt, what can you do to help remedy that? Research that online. We can all do that. But I thought, I need something. I don't need long lists of how to handle all of this. 4 A's. And I'm going to work on the website this week, and I will post them for you. That's my call and response for the week, is to face the internet and learn so that I can post. Number 1, accept. Accept where you are. What season are you in? What season is the world in? What's going on? We start our mantra of who we are with we are authentic. Be honest about where you are, because that's the place of honesty and spiritual presence where that divine will meet you right where you are. Number 2, affirm the presence of God in everything, even if you can't see it. Emmett Fox in The Golden Key, a little Unity booklet, one of the most powerful pieces, I think, that was ever written for Unity. And it says, whatever you are praying about, instead of praying about a condition, a situation, shift your focus onto God. The golden key is turn your consciousness like a key into the presence of God in the midst of whatever is going on. And with the call and response I've had, I have been in some horrific situations where there has been terrible violence and injury, and I can promise you, everyone who steps into that with kindness and caring turns that golden key and focuses on God is in the midst of all of this. Number 3 is adapt. Find ways to adapt to where you are and what is, new ways to thrive. One of the things that came out of the pandemic for many was that people couldn't get in their cars and drive places and go to work and go shopping. They were home. And they discovered that all they had to do was open their doors and there was a garden in the backyard. You could go to Fort Worden and walk along the beach and at least sometimes see other human beings you could wave at from a distance. But the thing that really reawakened in us as people and as souls was the beauty of the nature of our world. I love that today's daily word was beauty. When you go out into nature, you are nourished at a deep level, at every level of being. You realize that you are one with the divine presence and that there are cycles and unfoldings of life, and that sometimes we make such a huge thing of just one thing. Do I believe it's important to stand in our truth? Absolutely. But I want to adapt in how I do it so I can remember to appreciate, which is number 4. Appreciate what is around you, the blessings already present. That's one of the deepest things you can gift yourself with that call and response is when the call comes, notice what's around you that's already blessing you and maybe showing you the light in that next direction that the call is coming from, which makes the response a little easier. Call and response. This last week with a spiritual group that I am part of once a week, we were talking about the Gospel of Philip, analog 28, came up. And it's about love and faith. Faith receives and love gives. Without faith, no one can receive, and no one can give who does not love. We are therefore made to trust in order that we may receive, and caused to love in order that we might give. Give and receive. Call and response. For if one gives without love, there is no benefit in the giving. And anyone who is unreceptive to this call and response of love and faith is going to be unreceptive to the transcendent and will continue being trapped in the lower realities. This is from the Gospel of Philip, that's one of the Gnostic Gospels. It was like it was written not just for their time, but for our time as well. Joan Chichester, in Wisdom Distilled from the Daily, from the Benedictine tradition, which I love, says, daily life is the stuff of which high sanctity can be made. Those little things, high sanctity. But just about nobody I have ever met, however, really thinks it's easily possible. But if we are not spiritual where we are and as we are not spiritual at all. It's recognizing, are we in a crazy period of transition? Yes. Yes, we are. But how do we spiritually find a center and grow as expressions of love and faith despite the outer appearance of things? We had Christina Baldwin come last year. Just adore. She lives on Whidbey Island. She wrote The Seven Whispers, which we studied years ago and then redid last year over a month. And The Seven Whispers it's a wonderful book. If you don't have it, get it. And it's about 7 ways to find this connection in the everyday and the commonplace to the divine. And one of hers is about call and response. And she says this, which I love, and I invite you to hear this and to really remember it as you step forward into this crazy world we are blessed to share right now. The covenant made with the angel is not about leading an ordinary or extraordinary life in any terms I have understood, but rather it's about leading whatever life we have with extraordinary attention to God's call and our response, our call and God's response. That call and response goes both ways. So I invite you this week to live your life with extraordinary attention to God's call and your response, and to your call and how God responds to you. Let us pray. Oh, sweet, sweet Spirit, abiding presence of the divine. As we live in these times of grief, reactions, and cycles, let us learn not to react, but to respond, to choose how we are present in the world. For reaction comes without conscious thought and awareness. Response is a conscious choice. Let us accept where we are. Affirm the presence of God in everything. Adapt as we need to find new ways to thrive and to grow, and to appreciate the blessings already present, that we might grow them even further. May we remember that faith and love call us into a call and response that change not only our individual lives, but our collectiveness as well. May we all give extraordinary attention to the call and responses in both directions. And may we remember that the deepest call is to be spiritual where we are, and to allow each one of us to evolve in love and faith on a journey of soul in the midst of all of the storms and all of the cycles of life. Extraordinary attention to the presence of the divine in our world, in one another, and in ourselves. May we grow in faith and love. that we might transcend the lower realities and see one another with the eyes of the divine. We rededicate ourselves to this living, loving path of the Christ. And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. And so, a perfect song, I give myself to the Spirit, that presence of the divine that lives and moves and has its being in you. I invite you to stand, and as you stand, realize you stand in a community that honors the divine in our world and in each other.
I give myself to the Spirit as I wander down the road. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. I give myself to the Spirit as I wander down the road. Whoa. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. Take it up higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher, higher, higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher, higher, higher. I give myself to the Spirit as I wander down the road. Whoa. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. I give myself to the Spirit as I wander down the road. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. I give myself to the Spirit. I give myself to the Spirit. I give myself to the Spirit.
Take it up higher. Please be seated.
What a perfect segue for our offering, huh? I give myself to the Spirit. I give my time, talents, and treasures to the Spirit. So I invite you to take out your offering for the day, hold it in your hand or hold it in your heart, and we'll bless it as we do each week, as we bless you and your presence and the importance of that presence. So together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all I receive, and I am grateful indeed.
And all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be, it's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, grateful for it all. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na, grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all.
Thank you, sweet Spirit, for it all. For the speed bumps and the cliffs and the potholes. For they enrich our lives. For the craziness that the world throws our way. That enriches our lives. Because at the core of everything is the presence of Spirit. That place of peace, that place of love, that place where we all stand in a common oneness. It's so close, yet so far away. And that's why we want to be thankful for it all. Because that speed bump may be the reason that my heart opened up. Maybe the reason I found love. I found a place to get centered. Find a place to find myself. And allow myself to shine forward. And if each one of us can carry that forward, what a place we would create all the way across the planet. So we take these gifts, we send them forward with that intention that we all find our center, shine it forward, and create, as Jesus said, heaven on earth. He said, it's right here, right now. All you got to do is have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the connection with Spirit. So for these gifts we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Thank God for the maple tree that hit.
yeah, it didn't hit us. Right. So let's see. On your chairs, near your chair, is a little flyer. And we're getting ready for a prayer class coming up in November. I saw this and I thought I'd share it with you. Ernst Holm wrote that, Science of Mind. Prayer, or spiritual communion, demands complete surrender to the invisible. It knows that because the creative power of God is at hand, and in that creative power, all things are possible. So this class that we're about to take off on here is talking about the 5-step prayer process that Unity and Science of Mind and New Thought uses. It's about calling forward the power within us through prayer to give us the faculties we need and to elevate the faculties outside of us. It's all, spirit is energy, it talks energy. So energetically, we are changing the vibration through our prayers, and this is a process by which we can use. So it's a really interesting and very simple process, yet anything of spirit is very complex at the same time. So look at your flyers. We invite you to sign up. There's a sign-up sheet in the back of the sanctuary. There is a fee to cover the materials. If you're just questioning about your own prayer life, feeling that, yeah, maybe I can do it differently or better or something, or maybe I'm curious, sign up. For those of you that are called later on, if you want to be a prayer chaplain, like Teresa and Sharon holding the high wash today, you can do that. Scariest thing I ever did in my life is pray for somebody else in their presence. And the most rewarding thing I've ever done is pray for somebody else in their presence. So, anyway, I invite you to do that, follow up with that. Okay. The crafty ladies, thank you, crafty ladies, for Every Thursday they meet 11. That is not just crafty ladies, there's a crafty guy involved with that. So crafty people from 11 to 2, and who knows what you may be coming up with, but we do have the Festival of Lights showing up here soon, so I'm sure the crafts have something to do with that. Next Saturday, men's group breakfast, be there, be square, up at the Cup. Let's see what else we got. We got a couple things coming up. October 5th, next Sunday, is St. Francis Sunday. So while we don't invite your critters to be in the sanctuary, we will make space for them outside, right? Okay, like we've done every year. So bring your critters, leave them in the car, and then we'll bless them as they go by. So we just don't have any critter conflicts. We don't want any of that. We don't need that. Not in here. And then the following week, we got Richard Russell coming again, another kirtan. So lots going on. And there's all sorts of classes. The Science of Mind group, there's a study group that's just started up. You're welcome to join in. And that's on Thursdays at 5:30 to 6:30. There's different meditation groups that go on here. It's all on the website. So look at the website first, unitypt.org, and if there's something that'll float your boat. Oh, thank you, John. Hey, I got it right here. I just lost it in my thinking. Where did you go? We have next Sunday. Where did you go? No wonder. Oh, here it is. Deep announcements. Sea Dog Farm is inviting us once again for a musical extravaganza and a potluck, 2 o'clock following service Sunday, and it's an open mic. So if you're inclined to sing or play an instrument, you're welcome to sign up on the open mic thing. We have an open mic and a picnic out at Sea Dog Farm. Bring something to share and share the experience. And if you really want to get into it, on Saturday at 3 o'clock, you can come help set up. So you can have 2 opportunities. Does that cover it? All right, thanks. Let's form a big circle here.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let's say that last line one more time. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go forth as beautiful sparks of divine light and change the world. Woo! We can do that. We can do that. Hi, Michael. Michael. Hi, Michael. I miss you. Thank you for singing today. I just love it when you're up there.